Hey guys, Casey here. I figured since this Pokemon review took so long to get out, why not do a commentary on it? It's my first time doing it, so if it's a bit awkward, I apologize. And, yeah, I meant when I said here, I've wanted to talk about Pokemon the First Movie for a really long time. This is actually going to be the first Let's Talk About, believe it or not. When I did when I decided to bring Let's Talk About to YouTube, I thought I just wanted to do this first, but then Gravity Falls kind of took over my life and hasn't really left, so I decided to wait until the 20th anniversary. And February seemed like the perfect month to do it. It's the actual month of Pokemon's 20th anniversary, and according to the games, February is when Mewtwo was first created, so it was perfect. So why was this so late? Um, okay, basically what happened was the second I uploaded the video from the Gravity Falls finale, my computer gave out on me. It just finally decided to break. And it took like a month. It took forever to get everything I needed back onto my new computer. But I finally did it, and I was finally able to work on this review again. And the good thing about that was, for all the extra time I had to work on this video, because it was supposed to come out on Pokemon Day, but I had like an extra month to do things, I got to do more research on it, because I was just going to talk about the movie. I wasn't going to do much about the behind-the-scenes thing. I wasn't even going to bring up Amber, which apparently some people didn't know about, which is weird to me. I thought everyone knew about Amber, but apparently not everyone's knowledgeable about that. So that's why I kind of skipped over Amber, and for those who don't know, I apologize, but you pretty much find any other review of Pokemon the First Movie, they'll bring it up, so just go down there or look up The Birth of Mewtwo, because it's a great story, and it's worth mentioning. Oh yeah, the Giovanni. I'm sorry if I went on a weird tirade here with Giovanni's dumb suit, but that's always bothered me. I love Giovanni. I think he's such an awesome villain, but he's got the dumbest looking suit. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I got to do a lot more research on it for, I think it's coming up. I bring up the fact that the anime episodes that Mewtwo was in, they weren't that was going to be it. Like, there was no prologue planned. Okay, we're going back real quick. That picture I used for the example of Frankenstein's monster, for those who don't know, that's from a Frankenstein musical. Yes, there is a Frankenstein musical. It was off Broadway. It lasted like 3 weeks, but it's really cool. The soundtrack's on YouTube. Find it if you can. Anyway, here's the part that I was talking about. Yeah, that was it. We weren't supposed to get anything else according to Bulbapedia, but after the poor seizure-inducing episode Porygon was in, poor Porygon, he's never gonna get another chance in the anime. Uh, those episodes were pushed back to after the movie was coming out in Japan, so they had to add the prologue. And I think that includes Amber. And yeah, I didn't notice that New Island was such a dumb name until I was watching the movie again. Like, wait, that's it? That's what it's called? Wow, people think Mewtwo is uncreative. Mewtwo had the dumbest name for an island ever. What else? Yeah, okay, think about the Porygon incident. Why did they give Porygon evolutionary forms if they knew they were never going to be able to put them in the anime? I don't know, that was always weird to me. Oh, the Scyther. The Scyther is Alakazam. Okay. Uh, okay, here's the thing. With the first movie DVD, at least the one I have of the 90 billion distributions they've done, the directors for the 4Kids directors say that they didn't realize that they miscalled Scyther Alakazam until until the sound mixing came in, so they decided to just keep it in as like a joke because Team Rocket wouldn't know wouldn't know the difference between Pokemon, which is kind of a dumb excuse, but oh god, okay. The Fergus thing. Maybe I made too big a deal of pointing it out, but it's just so weird. Like, you've all seen this movie, you know who that guy is. Would you have named him Fergus? I realize that this is a world where, like, Silent and Fantiana, or whatever the name of that ghost gym leader from Gen 4 is, are commonplace, but it was just so weird. I don't know, I don't know. It was just so weird. And yeah, okay, most people apparently haven't seen past like movies 3 or 4. Just to get this out of the way, I've seen every single one of them. I've seen them all. And pretty much past the first 3 or 4, once you get into like the advanced generation, especially once you get to the black and white movies, Team Rocket are pretty much window dressing. They do nothing. I brought up the characters from Arceus and the Jewel of Life when I was comparing how the boring one-shot expositing characters. That was probably too mean. I was too mean to Sheena. Kevin's the worst. But anyway, Team Rocket literally do nothing. They are there for like 5 jokes and then they're gone. It's so bad. So appreciate them here, people, because this is the best it gets. Okay, yeah, and this is why I've wanted to do Pokemon the First Movie for a long time. Because I've heard this excuse over and over and over again about how hypocritical the Pokemon battling it, the trainers' comments at the Pokemon War. And I never got that. I never felt that, ever. Because, Pokemon, it's basically legalized cockfighting, which is also kind of not true, but the Pokemon world is in our world, and that's a whole different subject altogether. But I never got that, and I was trying to figure out why, and I tried to get that across so well, because a battle, this isn't a battle, this is a war, and I really loved, that was the best way I could describe it. And Paul's a piece of crap. I hate Paul so much. I like what he did for Ash. I hate Paul. Anyway, yeah, that's all they're doing. They're just trying to fight to prove a point. That's what a war is, and that's not what a Pokemon battle is. And people have used this line so much to delve into how hypocritical it is, but it's not. It's the best way to describe it. Pokemon aren't meant to fight that way. It's just not. It's just not. I hope I illustrated that well. Because yeah, it's not hypocritical. It may be difficultly conveyed, but it's the way they're fighting here, it's not how Pokemon usually fight, how they're not supposed to fight. It's not how trainers let them fight. Despite the fact that all of these trainers have sentimental value to their Pokemon and they just stand there watching them beat the crap out of each other. Okay, that's bad. I'll give you that. But I've heard that excuse over and over again. I just wanted to put it to bed because I hate it. People have a point about this, though. This is stupid. It's just a shame because I cried. We all cried. You're telling me you were under the age of 10 when you saw this movie and you did not look at that face. Why would you cry at that? And for the record, that pick of the future, that's from an ending episode of Diamond and Pearl, which is also really sad because Pikachu cries, and that's always sad. And yeah, there's a lot there. Just to point that out, Suede's video. Suede is an amazing reviewer, one of the best channel Awesome has ever produced. Just find him on YouTube. If you are a Pokemon fan, find his videos because they are amazing. And while there's a lot in the Pokemon the First Movie review I don't agree with, most of which I go over here, Uh, it's still amazing. They're all great. Just go watch them. That was something else I learned when I was doing research on the movie. The dub actually tries to rationalize this by that legend told by the harbor manager. That was them trying to rationalize it. Apparently the Japanese version, nothing at all. They just cry and that fixes them. And I want to clarify that I have not seen the Japanese version. I've seen bits and pieces. Mostly Mew's very rougher speech towards the, just find a different review, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like find Suede's or Il Neige's, they both have it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I haven't seen the whole thing, I couldn't find it, so most of what I know about the Japanese version comes from Bulbapedia. Bulbapedia was very helpful with this, and there's a lot of weird cut stuff that I didn't get to, so just find it was very helpful and very eye-opening. Like, people blame so much of the problems with this movie on 4Kids, and 4Kids done a lot of stupid things, don't get me wrong. One of these days I'll cover Sonic X and what they did to that, but this really wasn't one of them. They really tried, and a lot of the things that they changed, particularly the music, like that music, the Tears of Life theme, when Ash is resurrected, the Japanese people who did the Japanese version apparently approved of that greatly and almost cried, according to the commentary. And yeah, people think Mewtwo is a great villain, and he is. He is probably the most threatening villain Pokemon has ever seen and probably ever will see. With the exception of maybe Getsus. Getsus, that's his name from Black and White. That may be the only exception. But Mewtwo is great because he's so relatable, and he is a Frankenstein monster. That's basically what he is, but it's that sense of confusion, that sense of not knowing the world yet, and what parts of the world you do know haven't been very kind to you. So you assume that about the rest of the world, and some people do that. And that's why the Tears of Life, as dumb as they are, and they are dumb, I will not defend it. It's a very important moment for Mewtwo, and it's a great moment. And I think it gets lost because people keep saying how hypocritical the fight is. Like, yeah, okay, but that's not what the movie's about. It's basically, I don't know. Mewtwo is just such a wonderful character because he is probably the most flawed character the Pokemon franchise has ever had. But I wanted to reiterate that, yeah, I don't think a lot of these complaints are justified, but they're understandable, I think. Like, I could see, when I was watching it again, I could see people interpreting that, but I don't think any of it was their intention, and I wanted to make that clear. I get why people don't like this movie. If you don't like this movie, that's fine, but I really love this movie. And I get that 14% because this is not for non-Pokemon fans. I think I can only think of 2 Pokemon movies that could be shown to non-Pokemon fans. And maybe we'll talk about those another time. But I still love this movie. I think it's better than some people give it credit for. And it was great to finally talk about it. And this picture at the end, I did that. That was the first thing I did when I got my computer back. And it was awesome, and it's me at my top 6 favorite Pokemon, and it's amazing, and it's so cool. Hopefully more Pokemon content on the way. See ya.